Hi, this is Ken at IPD. It's cold out, and it's even cold in here. One of the things that's a real problem for most P80 owners these days is the high heater core failure rate. We've tried many different brands, and we've stuck with the Bear brand as it appears to be what Volvo has always used and recommended for these cars. I can't say that that really fixes the issue in the long run, but it is the best option that we have. This is a job that most home shade trees can accomplish themselves at home, in the driveway or garage, with a minimum of tools, some rags, some Torx drivers, a heater core, and some O-rings. It's something that you can solve yourself. You don't necessarily need to go to the shop for this. So what we have here is a new heater core. We'll take a look at the old one in a minute. Some of our nice silicone O-rings. You can use factory rubber, or we have the upgraded silicone O-rings. This is a 1998 Volvo S70. For those of you not familiar, normally the symptom you get with a bad heater core, other than losing some antifreeze that you can't account for, is a sweet smell in the car, particularly when you turn the heater on. It'll sometimes accumulate on the inside of the windows as well, making kind of a filmy, sticky residue on the insides of the glass that you have trouble figuring out how to clean off. Okay, we're going to go through the basic steps for replacing this heater core on this car, a 98 S70. If your car is similar to this, it may have slightly different clips and panels, but the basic process will be the same either way. There's really only one piece of hardware holding the lower kick panel. It's a Torx 25. It's right here under the steering wheel. If you remove that one, then the whole piece slides back and out. So the carpet pulls back, and we wedge it under the pedal there. And that's the access on the driver's side. That completes the access to this side of the car. One thing worth noting, early 850 models, the pipes that lead to the heater core are made of steel, and they have a big problem with corrosion. I know a lot of people have gone to the wrecking yard and bought heater core pipes from a later car to put in to fix their rusty pipes, because the later ones are aluminum. So let's move over to the other side of the car and see how that comes apart. We need to pull out the glove box. There's 6 Torx screws around the outside of the glove box. Then there are 2 screws underneath the lip which will hold on the lower panel. So far we've used nothing but Torx 25 for all of these fittings on this car. Take those 2 screws out. Lower panel should drop down. Unplug the light just like on the other side. And remove from the car. Next step is to remove the knee bolster. There's 3 13mm nuts. You'll need an extension to get to them. They're not very tight, but it can be tough to wrangle this out. Just like on the driver's side, simply pull the carpet down out of the way and remove the plastic panel for access to the heater core. The actual disassembly of the heater box is actually pretty simple. There's 2 screws on this side and 2 screws on the other side. Essentially there's one Torx bit right here, and there's one up here which is kind of out of camera shot, but you'll be able to see it if you climb down there. And the same thing on this side, the Torx 15 and the Torx 20 screws to separate the heater box. Then you disconnect the coolant pipes from the heater core. It's a Torx 25, and it's located between the 2 fittings on the bottom of the box. If you simply disconnect the pipes on the heater core at this point, you're going to get a big mess in the floor of your car. So one thing we'd recommend is that you go under the hood, find the heater hoses, and simply crimp them closed using vice grips or a heater hose clamp. This will keep the block from draining all the fluid into the car. You're still going to get some spillage. You're going to want to get some rags, some cloths to soak up what you missed. Okay, you also want to disconnect the evaporator drain. It's a little sticky, but it'll come out if you pull on it hard. This car is a manual transmission, so you got shift cables right here in the way, which makes for limited working room. But you should be able to rotate the heater core back like this. And then pull it out the passenger side. You see the O-rings right here. Also a consistent leakage problem on these cars. Please replace them when you do the heater core. Here's the assembly removed from the car. It's pretty simple at this point. It's just Torx 15 fittings that hold this together. You can't put the new one in backwards, it'll only fit in one way. What I did want to point out, we were talking about it earlier, note how brown and discolored this one is. There's a reason for that. The way these cars work now is that hot water runs through the core anytime the car is running. So it shortens the life of the heater core. This one is literally baked brown from years in use. That's why these heater cores fail. Remove the screws. The core simply slides out of the heater box. You can see where the primary problem with this core was. This is the most common failure. Where the aluminum bonds to the plastic, after years of expansion and contraction, it has begun to weep. This is the bottom of the heater core. There's also a little bit of collection up here at the top of the heater core where it's leaked over the years. This one was definitely past due. The old heater core has a foam strip to seal it and force air through the matrix. New heater core comes with a foam strip. You'll have to apply it. You're just going to mimic the way it was on the old. Okay, it's easy to see when it's out here on the bench. There were Torx screws that went up and down here, the ones that went in the side here, and the big 25 that holds the pipes in place is right through there. 15s hold the heater matrix in the assembly. The new O-rings just slide over the fittings, just like the old ones came off. This is easy on the cars with the aluminum pipes. If you've got one of the early cars with the metal pipes, you'll probably have to remove those pipes from the car and clean them up with a wire brush or something. And we're going to reconnect the pipes to the heater core using the Torx 25 driver. And we're going to put the vertical screws in first, the Torx 20, which will pull the heater matrix up to its proper place against the heater box. Okay, you put in the two large vertical Torx to pull the heater matrix up, then you put the smaller ones in on the side. It's pretty much the completion of the install of the heater core. Now, a wise mechanic at this point is going to start the car, heat cycle it, make sure his antifreeze is full, and check and see if you have any leakage down here before you reassemble the rest of the car. Otherwise, you may regret it later. After you heat cycle the car, top up the antifreeze, check for leaks, put the panels back in place. If you spilled a little antifreeze in the carpet on the inside, it's not really a big deal. You can use a shop vac, some towels, maybe leave a space heater in the car overnight, get that thing cleaned up, get that smell out of the car, clean the glass for once, and have a warm winter.